So we read a bunch of books nowadays. As humans, we want to find out how to be someone else. What we don't do is we don't go inside. So literally turn yourself inside out. Read the book that's like we're writing a book every day of our lives, but we never read that book. Is you have to look inside of yourself and see what you really want. What are you passionate about? We use these words and these little phrases of only the strong survive. They're all just words. I get so tired of hearing people just talking. Like right now, someone may think Goggins is just talking. You don't know me. So when I speak from passion. I speak from experience. I speak from suffering. That's the only way I believe, this is my experience in life, the only way you're ever going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. And some people will get it and some people won't. But they have to see what their journey is to start their journey. Several people live to be 100 years old. They have great lives and they have great kids. The kids go to college and all sorts of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route. And they had a good life that way, but the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it, but a lot of us die never truly starting our journey. You got to start your journey. It may suck.
I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life.
What's up, guys?
Hello there, friends, and welcome back to the Project Reclamation Hour. Today we're discussing butter. Wait, no, we're not.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Butter makes everything better.
I thought it was bacon makes everything better.
If you take a steak, throw it in a pan. Granted, I would rather barbecue it, but the pan works better for this one. You slather it in some Kerrygold butter, and then put some bacon in there.
That's that Irish butter.
Do it in some onion.
Delicious.
Garlic.
And you gotta, dude.
Oh, and
that's
some
That's
rosemary.
the holy trio.
Oh.
No, the holy trio is celery, onions, and garlic.
Yeah, it's the holy trinity of delicious flavortudes.
Mm-hmm. Man, check that.
It's like the mirepoix. Wait, that's celery, carrots, and onion. Excuse me.
Oh,
what?
Man, wait.
Isn't that the thing in French? Isn't that the thing
I just zoned out for a minute.
French cooking? That's like the three things you put in all French
what is the Holy Trinity, Brett?
In cooking terms, the Holy Trinity is celery, bell pepper, and onions.
That's right.
No, it's celery, carrot, and onion.
Is a mirepoix, which is
a French thing?
Those are both.
Brett knows a lot of stuff, man.
I know cooking stuff.
He knows a lot of stuff.
I know stuff.
I don't know that much.
Not really.
I can look up a lot of stuff, man, on my Google phone machine.
I'm the most
It's not bell pepper.
I'm the least celery, carrot, and
it's celery, carrot, and onion.
The Holy Trinity.
The way that I see it is, I look at my spice cabinet kind of like one of those magic eye pictures where you just stare at it long enough and like the sailboat appears.
That's right.
And I'm just like, ooh, this would taste good on there. Hey, this is
That's
really
what
good
I do.
This is really good ground beef. What do you put in there? Cinnamon, coriander, some saffron.
Dinner 911.
Food joint.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Bam. Yeah, that's what I do all the time.
There's a lot of spices and flavors you can put in something, and you won't taste that thing, but that thing brings out all the other flavors so much.
You know what's good? I put in one time. I was making shepherd's pie, and I put curry powder in it. It was
curry powder's good on lots of different stuff, dude.
Yeah.
You thought we were going to talk about something different?
I put curry powder in my bone broth.
I put curry powder in my underwear.
JB's
I drizzle curry powder on my vanilla ice cream. It's delicious.
Who knows? That might taste good. I don't know.
It could be.
Mm-hmm.
If it's food,
could be like you're eating soft serve in Bangalore.
Sure. Yeah.
Bamo.
That's in India.
Is it?
Bangalore.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Dude, I don't know anything.
I haven't been out to California in a long time, man.
Welcome, y'all, back to Project Reclamation.
Yeah, 2019.
You are here in 2019. Happy fucking New Year, everybody. With all three of your hosts, Steve, Tim, and JB.
Hey, if you're listening for the first time, man, lucky you, good on you, man. We got a lot of episodes. I think we're almost at our year of episodes, bro.
No, we're over a year.
No,
we're over a year over it?
No.
Are we not?
Depending on when you listen to this, we may be over a year.
No, well, fuck, dude. There was at least 2 weeks where the episode that we released was a bonus episode, so it wasn't a numbered episode. So we're probably actually at either a year exactly or maybe one behind.
I just labeled mine 52, but I don't know if my labeling is all done.
So as far as like numbered episodes, this is episode 49.
49, man. We're coming up on
But
you.
I think if you count all our
53?
bonus episodes, I think we have probably 60, 70 plus episodes.
Damn, that's a wealth of knowledge. These are private recordings like Tupac's private recordings, bro.
Yeah,
in
so
case
private.
we pass,
we'll
still be able to kind of pot these
are
out.
at my kitchen table while Brett is cooking sausages. And Jax is confused because his sister is not here.
And JB's burping into his microphone.
Dude, where else would you burp?
It's
the microphone's
delicious.
A perfect place.
I'm drinking this Kroger blood orange sparkling water beverage.
All right.
Yeah, it's the same as... Wait, what?
It's the same as
so
any
good.
Safeway.
Blood orange is too sweet.
Well, okay, so it's caffeine free and there's nothing in it but like chemicals and sodium.
Yeah.
But there's no calories.
Oh.
Huh.
So you know what? It quenches my thirst, but it's probably gonna make my
I feel like
liver explode from whatever this is, sucralose.
I feel like when you look at the
Asula's face,
when
face.
you look at the sugar bar at a whatever coffee place or anywhere that has like even like the little sugar thing on your table at like a diner or whatever, it's all artificial sweeteners and then sugar. So it's like basically you have this choice between cancer and diabetes.
Ooh,
choose wisely, my friend.
God, my diabetes has cancer.
It's possible.
Maybe
man.
they'd kill each other. Who knows?
It's possible,
Whoa,
man.
that'd be interesting.
I think they've done some studies about like viruses killing cancer and stuff like that.
I mean, it totally.
Welcome
makes
to
sense.
the medical and cooking podcast here with Tim.
We are your dime store physicians.
Dime store physicians.
And we are your
the
dumpster fire
DSPs.
cooks. We have a dumpster fire, whatever.
Man, I want to say Happy New Year to you guys.
Happy New Year.
Honestly, I don't know about you, but this adds just another year to just stick in our hat right now of friendship. Holy smokes.
I know. We have spoken
How have we
at
done
least once a week for
the last
an
year.
entire year.
And
right.
that's huge.
That's huge.
That is
'Cause
pretty
honestly, I
huge.
look forward to actually talking with you guys.
Because as much as this probably clearly defines us all as hermits,
Because
you're
we're
my
the
best
three
friends.
best friends that anyone could
Right,
have.
right. And
We're
the
the
fact that-
three
the
best
fact that
friends that anyone could have.
what is that from?
The Hangover, bro.
Hangover.
And we're never, ever
Hangover,
gonna be apart.
Right.
The
Yeah, it's
Django,
kind of
man.
sad that like it's like an accomplishment for me to say that for a whole year I've talked to my two best friends for fucking once a week.
Why is that sad, baby? Some
I
people
don't
even
know.
have anyone
No,
to talk to.
dude, we have go-getter lifestyles. We're
That's
jet-setter-
right. You think
jet-setting
we're just sitting
individuals.
around on our couch?
So, and it's not like we have a device in
video
our
games.
pocket that will reach out and touch somebody at a moment's notice.
That's right.
So, I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, man. Dude,
I mean, Steve, I've gone over a year without talking to you before.
everyone's gone over a year. If you've been a good friend
I think,
of mine,
I think Tim, I've probably done the same for you.
Well, I think we definitely did over a year when we lived in the same fucking city.
yeah, If
Yeah.
you've been a good friend of mine, you know that I don't talk to people on the regular. That's just my style. I
Yeah,
disappear.
Steve's
Which is weird
Steve's-
because you're like the one of us that needs like human interaction more than anyone
Yeah,
else.
I don't know. It's a weird yin and yang. It's
really
a
is.
weird
I
yin
mean,
and chang. You know, what I
Yin
mean?
and Chang,
More
dude.
and more I fight it, and I think
can't
the
fight
more I
it.
fight it, it actually
That
makes
needs
my
to go on a T-shirt, dude. Yin and Chang.
Yin and
That's
Chang.
another Steveism brought to you by Project Reclamation.
Yeah, Yin and Chang,
Hot
and then
take.
there's Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Achieving the
There's
that's
the
achieving
Changover.
absolute zen. Yep.
There is
Changover.
That's when you wake up and you realize
there's one that I always say on when I leave you messages. I
short of the
can't remember.
long.
No. It's something with your name, using your name.
You go, Haro. These are Tim. Tim arriva message for Steve.
Tim,
You not here?
Steve, I love you long time.
Why you not here?
It's like $5.
You man, you guys went sexual with it. I was gonna go fast
I
food
wasn't
with
going
it.
sexual with it. I was just throwing out quotes from.
I was gonna be like,
Full Metal Jacket.
Asian family visiting Disneyland.
Hi.
Take
Oh, you take a
oh,
picture.
take a picture. Take a picture. Everything. A Mickey Mouse.
This is so important.
Oh,
I
Donald
must
Duck.
tell you. stuff like that. Hot takes, man.
International House Pancake.
A pancake. Okay.
Whoa, dude.
Dude, I got to tell you guys a thing that I'm trying to do tonight. Oh, I'm so excited for it. I have always been the recipient of pancakes my whole life.
Recipient of pancakes?
Well, yeah.
What? That people
Like
just
people
hand them
have
to you?
people just they just feel the need to make you fucking pancakes.
No, I've never made pancakes myself.
What? But tonight you're
but
about to make some
tonight-
fucking pancakes.
Here's what it was. My sister was
Steve,
over for the holidays.
Steve.
And she bought a bunch of pancake mix and batter and all these ingredients. But then of course she went back home and we only did pancakes once. But pancakes don't come in pancake mix or batter doesn't come in just one.
Yeah, you
There's
kind
a
of
lot
have
of
to
stuff
make. You
left.
have to
That's what I'm
make a
trying to tell you.
batch.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff left, and I am gonna get all chef Changy, and start trying to make some pancakes. And I'm gonna follow
Dude.
the instructions on the
Chef
box.
Changardi.
Wow. Look
Okay,
at that. Another
so,
one. Hot
Steve-
take, man.
Steve, if you end up doing this again, I'm gonna send you something.
What is it? Is it pancakes? 'Cause
It's a
then I won't need to
delicious
make
box of pancake mix from a place in Chattanooga called Aretha Frankenstein's.
it. It's called
Wow.
Aretha Frankenstein's?
I don't even.
It's called
understand
Aretha
that.
Frankenstein's, and if you guys ever come out to visit, we're taking the hour and a half.
I've already been to
2 hour
Memphis with
trip
you. We
to
should definitely go to
Chattanooga. Like
It's
I would,
University
I
of
would drive down
no,
there
it's not
like in the morning, way early, just to be there to eat. Like these pancakes, they're like
Okay.
sponge cakes, and they're like an inch thick, and they're like the size of the plate.
Okay, there's a
Oh.
place. Have you ever been to Park Boulevard Eatery?
Yeah,
No.
that place is good.
That
And
place has fucking bomb ass pancakes. All their food is amazing, but it's like a tiny little it's like literally it used to be a house. There's not a
I
lot.
guarantee you, the Aretha Frankenstein pancakes.
Oh,
are
I don't
better.
doubt
They
it.
have a red velvet pancake and a all. But I will
don't even
say,
care.
in my travels, the best fucking pancakes in the entire world
Here we go.
are at this little diner on Kauai.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I
was
can't even
hoping
think of
to
the name,
just
but it's
drive
like they make this macadamia nut unicorn horn magic fairy dust.
That's
fucking
where the
leprechaun
special
gold
sauce comes from,
sprinkled
man.
pancakes, and holy shit if they aren't life changing.
Wow. I
So-
will tell you that there's Hash House a Go-Go.
Hash House of Go. I've never had pancakes there. I've
Dude,
always
you
been like the
need
scramble.
to get the child-sized pancake. Don't get the
Okay.
real adult-sized pancake because it's one of those things. You have they have a big old plate that weighs 10 pounds in itself.
Everything you order there is a
Yeah.
big old plate that weighs 10 pounds.
But this pancake flops over the side of it. It is
Okay.
literally, and if you're in Las
Yeah.
Vegas, you can go obviously
that was
to
the original
link.
one, wasn't it? Las Vegas.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. If you're pretty
What's
sure.
the,
Maybe it
uh,
was like Chicago. Or
I think that's their. I know.
because
maybe I could be
they're
wrong, I don't
farmhouse.
know.
They're farmhouse. All this farmhouse. Hash
What's
farmhouse
the
stuff. So I think
what's
it'd
the
be in
place
Iowa.
called that's downtown LA right by
DT,
LA
Roscoe's
Live?
Chicken and Waffles.
No, the pantry.
The pantry's also. Oh yeah, it's right across the Staples Center. It's like
Oh, yeah,
not right
the
across.
I try to
It's
avoid
like-
LA at all
It's
costs.
like a block and a half down.
LA is
Oh,
good,
it's
man.
so
LA
good.
You go to the pantry on Sunday
Rob's
morning.
Party
You will be
still
waiting
there.
out there.
Yeah, those are
For
just
an
like
hour and a
the
half,
huge
man.
regular pancakes, but they're so good.
Oh.
Like,
They've been in business
So-
since 1950
so
something.
Stephen Chang.
Hell yeah.
You like Hash House of Go-Go.
Yes, right.
In San Diego, at least.
Go on.
There is a restaurant across the street called
Yeah.
the Tractor Room.
I've heard about this.
It
It's
is
the same owners or something.
Same
right?
owners.
Yep.
The
It's
tractor
it's
room, like
the tractor.
tractor.
Like she thinks my tractor's sexy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Take you for a ride in my big green tractor. Yeah, it's called the Tractor Room. Because that's even a house.
Not the
house, like,
tracker room. Not to be
all they
confused with
have,
the
like, all their
government
decorations and stuff are, like, old, like, farm
infiltration
equipment.
system.
Like that's their thing.
No, for sure.
And so you go to the Tractor Room, and it's literally like the same everything. But it's like the Kroger brand instead of the whatever name brand.
Oh, or wait, what? Why would I want disc? Why
So
would
it's
I want,
cheaper.
It's cheaper, and there's not a 2-hour wait if you want breakfast on.
I get
on
what you're
Sunday.
saying, and sometimes
Hell yeah.
you can't really tell the difference because they all look the same, taste the same, smell the same, all that other stuff. I get what you're saying.
Well, they're all getting their ingredients from Cisco, so I mean, it's just
Yeah.
all
But
how,
what I'm
they're-
saying is
how they are
it's the same- It's
prepared.
the same owners. It's the
True
same
that, man.
managers, whatever, something like that. So essentially, it's not even like it's kind of the same. It's like it kind of really is the same.
Yeah, that's right. Well, trust me, and like honestly, they could just do their stuff better. Like there's always like even though they're the same, even when everyone makes pancakes or everyone makes a good spaghetti bolognese or whatever, if you kind of put your own spin on it, dude, that's all they need to do.
Yeah,
Put their own spin on it. Maybe add some curry powder, right, JB?
that's
Secret
right.
sauce.
Little curry powder in your pancakes.
Unicorn horn, right, Tim? Yeah.
Yep.
Secret sauce. I mean, that's just
Secret
all. That's where I'm
sauce.
coming
So
from,
what are
man.
you going to do special for your pancakes, Steve? Are you just going to go flat
I'm just gonna
out
make
basic?
them. I just want to make sure I can make them, and then
So
also,
yeah, the secret to having good pancakes is not like whisking the batter too much.
I
Like
don't
you
think I have a
you want
whisk.
some clumps in the batter.
Okay.
And
So you don't want too
anybody,
much- you don't want too much air. Is that what you're saying? But isn't
why
that kind of
is
the
that?
difference?
Because
It's like a
then-
dense pancake and like a fluffy pancake.
no, I think the basic pancake
All right. go
is
on.
not to have too much.
I guess maybe.
Not to
If you're
have,
ever-
not, yeah, Mrs. Not to have too much air. You're not supposed to whip the batter too much.
Okay.
But I
You
feel
want
like if you
lumps.
wanted really like light, fluffy pancakes, you could like blend it and put a bunch of air.
No, it's not because the batter thins out.
Huh. All right.
Now there is a way to make really super fluffy pancakes, and that's by whipping egg whites and then gently folding that
sounds
into
way
the
too
batter.
much
Do I need
work.
eggs for this pancake stuff? I need
Not
eggs,
if you have
right?
Bisquick or one of these like pancake mixes. It's literally just
I
add
think
water.
you do need eggs with Bisquick.
Pretty sure you don't.
Bisquick is it?
I don't know about Bisquick, but I know that there's pancake mixes that you just literally add water and that's it.
Boys, here's what I was really gonna do. I was gonna get my first batch done, so I
Is
realized
this
I
like
can
the first
make
time
it.
you ever cooked anything?
No. I'm an
you
excellent cook. I'm an amazing cook.
What
I'm
do you
Chinese.
cook?
I'm the best.
You've never cooked me anything.
Well, yeah, because that's weird, man.
Dude, Chef Boyardee Steve, bro, come on.
It's not weird
Check it
at
out.
all.
Here's
Hey
what I
Tim,
also had
I
an
wanna,
idea about.
I've cooked you a bunch of shit. Hey Steve, come over. I'm barbecuing a bunch
Yeah,
of
that's
stuff.
different, man. And I will tell.
This friendship is so one-sided. I
That's
think I'm
right,
fucking
man.
quitting.
That's right. Go.
God damn it.
Too many people
I can't
on
quit 'cause
Twitterverse.
You're my token Asian friend. God
Yeah,
damn it.
too many people on the Twitterverse would be in up in arms about it. They'd be like, "What?"
Yeah, all my 50 followers would be.
That's right. We love you all. We love all 50 of you guys. But no,
I was
thinking
excited
about,
that we got like 3 new Instagram followers this week.
There you go.
Yeah.
about
What's
chopping
up?
up some
Bringing in the
bacon.
likes.
And then putting some bacon, and then also some chocolate chips in it. Bammo, slammo.
Oh,
chicken?
bacon chocolate
No,
chip
bacon
pancakes?
and chocolate chip pancakes. That's where my end
Oh,
goal
absolutely.
is
That's
at.
amazing, dude.
And then
Hell yeah.
putting some slather, some
So
maple
check this
syrup on
out.
it.
So cook the bacon, crumple it up,
That's
Yeah,
right.
then
bacon
put it
first.
in.
Oh yeah, I know.
And I would recommend cooking it in the oven.
Yeah, that's right, because it's extra crispy that way.
And that way you make it extra crispy and uniformly crispy. And if you want super crispy bacon, which I would kind of prefer for pancakes, then you cook it, a little bit longer than you
How
think.
long does it take to cook bacon in the oven?
Anywhere between like 15
Just
and 40
if
minutes,
you have,
depending on how
Just
go
thick the
until it
bacon
looks
is and how
and
crispy
looks-
you want it.
And if you have like a cookie cooling rack,
Yep,
like some
You know,
sort of
it's
rack.
like that wire rack
Yeah.
that sits inside the pan.
that's right.
Yeah,
cookie pan.
that's a good way because then all the excess
Oil
juices
just
fall
slips
off
That little
and
wire
don't,
cookie
and
rack
don't
is hard as
sogify
fuck
your
to
bacon.
clean. Yeah.
I bet.
Oh, dude, JB, I made this scramble yesterday.
A scramble.
I
We were
took
just
the
talking- we
other
were all
half of
food-
the
2019
the last
year of the
pound
food, man.
of Aldi maple bacon. Shout out to JB for telling me and everyone else that listens to this podcast to buy this.
I definitely did not say.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
So I cooked up, I think it was about a half a pound. Cooked that up. I literally just I just chopped it up into kind of diced it, I guess you'd say. Not really, whatever. Threw it in the pan.
Yeah.
Let that cook.
Made your own little chunks.
In retrospect, I should have drained the bacon grease first, but I didn't. Then I threw 3 eggs in there and I chopped up a bunch of baby kale. I mixed
Take
that thing
that.
up and holy shit. And I think I threw some cheese in there at the end. That was fucking magical.
Sounds delicious.
yeah.
Magical keto breakfast.
Yeah, definitely drain the bacon grease, but still, I'm sure it was amazing.
Dude, just
Cookie sheet.
It was yeah.
I could just see you like taking a bite and like having like grease drip down your chin.
There was a little bit of that. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. At one point, like I put it in a Tupperware because I knew I wasn't gonna eat it all. And at one point, like I kind of moved all of everything to the one side, and then I kind of tipped it, but not enough for any of the actual solids, just so the grease would all just sort of slide to the other side. And yeah,
That's how you got to do it too. That works as well, until the grease overpowers the wall like a seawall, and then it goes over, and then it may start a grease fire in your oven.
Yeah, and then it's like they didn't update the levees, and then all the levees break, and then the
shut
place
up.
just floods.
So, do you think
Katrina.
David Goggins eats bacon?
I know it probably does.
I would assume so.
Maybe not though. He's so healthy.
I don't know.
You know what's crazy?
I don't know though. So for some of those ultra runs, like
Oh, you've
if
heard
you're
of
doing
Dean
it like 24
Parnassus.
hours. Like you got to be like some of those guys that do like the Appalachian Trail and stuff. They're eating like 4 million calories.
Well, they
or
need,
something like
and
that.
they not only need a lot of calories, but they need it's like all carbs that you really need. I mean, Steve does a lot of like you're supposed to eat like a giant spaghetti dinner or whatever the night before a race, right?
I remember that was like my favorite night, but then you had to eat it at the right time, though.
Right,
Or
but
else it just sits on you and you're still like, you
So
still
there's
have it.
I think he used to be the head of the like hospitality and tourism management department at San Diego State.
All right.
And he was like one of Shannon's like favorite teachers when she was there.
All right.
Carl Winston, I think his name. Shout out to Carl Winston.
Oh, I thought you said Carl Winslow. And
I thought you did
Carl,
too. I was like,
Carl Winslow is the dad from Family Matters.
Family Matters, yeah.
And he's
He-
also
and
he's
he did.
also
Carl.
in the movie Die Hard, which is the best Christmas movie ever.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, Carl Winston, he's an ultra runner, so he does these 100 miles races, and he literally he brings like baked potatoes. He eats literally. I mean, he probably seasons them or whatever, and he just literally is just eating like potatoes because
Yeah.
they're just
like the entire time he's running.
pretty much yeah.
There were people that were
'Cause they
saying
give him
that-
they give him that energy, and
They're
like
kind of
that.
the perfect food. I mean,
Kind
if
of, yeah.
you're active, I mean,
Real
they don't
simple.
have any
breaks
protein in
down
them,
real
but
quickly.
you know, they got fiber, they got carbs, they got.
But I'll be honest, I don't know that David Goggins needs to eat bacon or anything because I think he just digests like awesomeness and like doubt and like everybody else's doubt.
And like farts
And-
motivation.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Here, well, I gotta be honest with you guys. Before we just kind of dip into that, I got a few questions. I gotta dip into some questions right here.
question.
Oh,
dip into some
Steve, you got
gotta get-
questions.
I gotta get used to this new having somewhat of a format thing.
No, dude.
I know. I was thinking I was being all good, like, you know, doing a little segue there, and
I was reviewing our website, projectxreclamation.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Troy from Chula Vista, local boy. Yeah.
Chula Vista.
He says, honestly, guys.
North.
TJ, Chulawana is what I've heard it be called by my buddy Ferdinand up at work. But he says this, boys, what are you guys looking forward to this year? New year, new start. Are you guys looking forward? Do you guys have any big plan or big mission that you guys are trying to do for the year? What are your thoughts? So I honestly just want to give a shout out to Troy. That's an awesome question because honestly, we are about kind of achieving a mission here. And it's a mission of bettering ourselves and obviously kind of bettering our listeners here.
It's a mission
and then
of
also
speaking to each other once
That's
a
right.
week for an entire
and
year.
even
That
just
is-
a
that
mission
wa-
of improving our friendship.
That
You
was
know
our
what I mean?
first step.
All right, I'm
That's
not
what's
talking.
up.
I'm not talking to you guys for another year and a half.
That's your JB's mission is to be solo.
It's okay
For the next
It's
year.
okay because I
will hunt you down.
no, I'm not gonna hunt you down. I already had someone do some mind control on your 2-year-old son, and
Ooh.
all I have to do is deliver the trigger, and then he'll just kill you for me.
I
Sweet.
wonder what it is, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So that's Tim's mission.
My mission is to just secure that 13th listener for our podcast. No, I think it's to get our listeners up. It's to for Tim to start being less social media stupid.
All right.
I was gonna say the R word, but then I learned that you're not supposed to. So I'm not
Nah,
going
that's
to.
old school stuff.
Wait,
Yeah.
what R word?
Retard.
Oh,
Not like an
Which
amusement.
I will
it.
say, according
Like-
to the way I've always used it, it literally is the word that means to slow down.
yeah. Like
That's
when
it.
you're coming to a stop sign, you're retarding your speed.
Yeah. Or like fire retardant is to slow down the spread of fire. JB
Yeah.
and I used to work with fire retardant. It smells like cookie dough for
Phos-Chek.
some reason. Don't know why. Couldn't
Oh,
tell
really?
you.
I heard it's
Pho-
super bad for the
phosphates.
environment.
Phosphates.
So yeah, I would like to get better at more consistent at our social media postings.
All right.
I would also like the two of you to pick up some fucking slack and help me out. And you know, I'm very proud of myself, and I love that you guys are proud of me, you know, and losing what I've lost so far, somewhere around 180 pounds.
Damn, somewhere around 180
I think the
pounds,
holidays
man.
put about 10 of that back on.
How
to be honest.
huge is that?
But
JB,
to get to my goal
damn.
weight that I had in my mind when I started this shit, I'm 40 or 50 away. So That's what I'm
at
gonna do.
180 pounds right now, bro. You lost a whole
Dude,
Steven.
you
man.
lost a Chang.
Wow.
I lost a Chang.
The Chang over.
I lost a Chang, and now I'm going to lose a 4-year-old. Or
Wow.
whatever year-old weighs 50 pounds.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what kind of
I don't understand
Yeah.
kids.
Depends on what kind of 4-year-old.
I look at a kid, and I have no idea how old that kid is.
You're like, wow, you're 23.
However, on New Year's Eve, I did teach a fire responsibility class to a bunch of little kids because there was like a dumpster fire at the party I was at, and there was a bunch of little kids there.
like a literal dumpster fire.
Dumpster party.
I mean, it was like a
Were you hanging
like a
out?
half of an oil barrel.
What? Was it? Was
So it was like a
someone
trash
deep
can
frying a turkey?
fire, but I call it a dumpster fire because it just sounds cooler.
No, yeah, but
It reminded me of like fucking Dennis
Someone throw a
Leary
cigarette
and
in
the
like a-
underground people from like what is that, Demolition Man?
oh yeah.
Yes.
Or pick your like whatever like kind of post-apocalyptic like Mad Max, whatever.
No, I get it.
Dystopian cooking
I'm like a
show.
self-proclaimed like pyromaniac. I've always been a pyromaniac.
That's
When I was a
right.
kid, I learned how to make smoke bombs and all this other crap. And yeah, maybe that's a sign of like growing up to be a serial killer. But I never took it any further than that. I just like fire. Like it's always fun.
That's right.
So these kids are just doing They're being stupid. I'm like, hold on, kids. I know if I tell you no, you're just gonna do something stupider. So let me just teach you how to tend to a bonfire responsibly. So I'm just like, here, let's put some cardboard in the fire. That's better than the leaves you were putting in there earlier. Let me be honest.
Fire Marshal Tim, dude. Look at that. Like
Fire Marshal Tim.
Hop, 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 hop. Let me show you something.
So now I think I answered the question.
Oh no, for sure,
Now I think JB and Steve need to answer the question.
Wait,
Well,
what's the
I'm gonna be-
question?
dude. What?
What are some things you're looking forward to making changes this year or this year in general? Oh, I should probably give a shout out to my little sister.
There it is.
And Nick, who are getting married this year. And
That's right.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a whole new chapter in their life.
Shannon and
they're-
Nick are going
They are part of the
married.
Project Reclamation family. So big freaking shout out to you two.
That's a
or I should say a
PR
big
with PR.
Ferritichin shout out to you two.
A fair
That sounds like it hurts.
Well, because the first thing I said was frickin', and Frick is her last name. Ferritich is his last name. So I just
Farrah-
changed it.
Farrah
I turned
Frick.
his last name into
Is she gonna take on his last name?
She is.
Oh, so it's to be Shannon. What Ferritich?
Ferritich.
Oh, okay. I guess it's like it starts with F, so she doesn't have to like
Yeah.
change everything.
Just keep it her initials.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. She's still a Smurf. I mean, the R doesn't exist, but still Smurf.
JB, Troy's question from Chula Vista. Thank you once again, Troy. Was simply this, man. You know, it's a new start and a new year. Do you have what's your overarching goal? What are you looking forward to? And do you have like a mission or something that you're trying to accomplish? Like, do you have already kind of your eyes set on a big
yes.
accomplishment this year?
So I've been working on relaunching Stage Camo, which is a brand I've been working on for a long time.
StageCamo.com.
StageCamo.com.
Insert. This episode is brought to you by Stage Camo
Not to be
commercials.
honest,
right.
this is a
And,
necessary sponsorship.
That's right. Yeah, this is a sponsorship by association.
I do.
So much
That's
calmer when she's not here, huh?
that's what I've been working on, and I really would like to give that a fair chance and
Dude, that's
to
awesome,
succeed. Take it seriously this time, and yeah, I think that's my one goal right now, and to continue to be a good dad. That's just kind of an ongoing thing.
I don't think you need to try on that.
I
one,
think
man.
you and I need to add another one there.
All right, what is it?
What's
Because
that?
we've made a little bit of progress, but like
Oh,
we have
losing weight.
No, we need to write this fucking book.
Oh, that's right,
that's
the
it.
book. There's so
Yeah.
many things going on in my
I mean, we
head.
have the outline. We have some stuff. We keep like we keep not listening to our own advice. We need to just listen to like old episodes and just take our own advice.
I know.
Yeah, we're writing a book.
Well, those who can't do teach.
Sure.
So
Sure. Well, and Steve's gonna be on it too, even if he doesn't help us.
I'm just gonna be on the back.
By the
cover.
way, that's the deal we made with you, Steve.
we're just
You
going
didn't
to
know
include
this.
a lock of Steve's
We're gonna
hair in
include you
every
as one of the
copy.
authors, whether you write any of it or not.
yeah, this is Ghostwriter, Ghostwriter Chang.
The jacket is just going to be Steve's hair.
yeah, just be like, oh,
We could make a jacket out of Steve's hair.
probably. There's
No, I
enough
meant
for
like
at
the
least-
book
Just like
jacket.
you
Yo,
shear an
tons
alpaca,
bestseller.
you could shear a Chang.
Golly.
Yeah.
That's awesome, JB. I don't think you need to try or work hard on being a good dad because honestly, I've heard you just be all over the place with these kids, and I know that's how it is. You know, they're both young, but I love it. I love it, dude. You're trying. You're putting out effort, dude. You know.
Yeah.
And you're just being there. I think that's kind of like the most important thing. I don't know. My sister, who is a new parent herself, she was always like, "Oh, kids don't. I was like, oh, and I need to do this, and I need to have this when I'm a dad. I need to have all this set up. And then my sister simply put it, your kids don't need any of that. They just need to know that you're there for them. And
Exactly.
JB, I got to be honest with you. I think you are always there for them. And we may be coming up with the coolest, raging idea of all time. And then you will literally be like, boys, I love you guys. You guys are my best friends ever. But family first. And I'm like, I'm down. I get it.
Got
So-
to do what you got to do.
Yeah, bro. But as for your stage camo idea and getting back on that grind, dude, that's awesome, man. One, you had a cool design and you made that yourself, right?
Yeah.
Two, you had a cool concept, man. And dude, it comes from like your working kind of roots in the industry, in the business, man. So it's just like, dude, I totally get it. Dude, that's awesome. And I totally support it.
Sweet.
Honestly, yeah. And for me, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I went on a run today, and the one thing I really, really
We know you've said it many, many times.
I know, and I'm going to
You
say
don't
it
want
again.
anyone to forget. that
God,
you're
I
on
get it. You CrossFit.
God,
I
guys, I'm so
I get it.
tired.
I get it. You're more fit than I am.
My feet are propped up because
But-
of all this.
But later on, I know someone that we could talk
sand.
about that'll even make you feel like a pussy. So
Oh, all right. Well, I can't wait to hear this. But guys, I'm thinking about getting back in the water and going surfing again, man.
dude, I kind of want to learn how to surf now that I'm not so
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
fat.
That's
That's one of the things I've been thinking about lately.
But I think it would just be fun for you because
Yeah.
you lived by the beach your whole life, man. And
have I even tried.
yeah, so I feel like that's kind of like a huge thing that you're missing out. I was like looking at it and I was like, oh, I used to be a big time surfer, man. I used to be a big time surfer. Then I moved and got a job and like did all that other stuff. And so it's really, really kind of sad. So I was thinking about returning to my roots, my California roots.
All
Just
right.
getting back in the water.
Next time I come out to San Diego, Tim and I are running longboards, and
And we're going.
we're all going surfing.
You know, there is a picture floating out there around there because our good friend, mutual good friend, Jables, Millie Betancourt, a.k.a. Millie Grunt, she took a photo of you and I at Campus Point. This is 1998, 99, maybe somewhere around there, maybe even 2000.
Oh yeah.
And you're riding a short red board, dude. I'm riding my bro Chacho's 7.2 Fun Shape B-Dubs Wilcoxon. And we're just like floating out there, and she has a photo of us just like, golden hour shot, Our faces are all just
golden shower shot.
No, golden
Gold-
hour
yeah.
shot, baby.
What's wrong with you?
So
He
yeah,
does
we were
obviously
sitting in the
not.
water, and there's a bunch of dudes peeing on us from
Yeah,
cliffs
he's obviously
above.
not he's not Ansel Adams prepared like obviously
That was that one time that Steve got to be in the R. Kelly video.
That's right.
Asshole Adams.
Ansel, goddamn.
Oh my God, guys! I had this idea.
Go
Everything in black and white. Good job, Ansel. You should do that. Oh man.
Well, little did we all know that he was colorblind. So
yeah.
That probably
I'm
could have
kidding.
been the
He
situation.
was not.
Oh, everyone's spreading rumors about Ansel. Double A.
That would be bad news if he was colorblind.
Well, would it be?
But the
Maybe
good
his
news is that
senses were
we have
heightened.
some good news for you.
Oh, okay.
JB,
right.
do you have something for us?
I do, and I have labeled this one Prego College Graduation.
That sounds horrible.
Oh no, it's good, dude. It'll bring a tear to your eye.
All right. Challenge
Well,
accepted.
maybe it probably won't. So if you think graduating from college is difficult, imagine graduating from college while enduring birth contractions, because that's exactly what happened to, and I am trying to pronounce this woman's name correctly, Anshonarial Greenhouse. That is her name. Last week, she was all set to walk across the stage
I
and
was going to
receive
make fun of
her
her name,
diploma.
but I can't because it's a good news
I know.
story.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
like,
We're not about
I was,
making
I was
fun of
thinking the
people.
same thing. I was like, oh no, I can't do it.
But you know, I think Mr. Inspiration would say, "Did you say venereal greenhouse?"
yes. So she was all set to walk across the stage, receive her diploma from Louisiana State University of Alexandria, when the 31-year-old mother went into labor. Despite being in pain from the contractions, Greenhouse insisted she wanted to walk across the stage. Not only did she want to complete the symbolic ceremony for her own
right.
satisfaction, she also wanted to show her daughter the power of determination and education.
That's right.
She said she understands how important education is, Greenhouse told the USA Today, the Ohio State. If she sees me doing my work, she does hers. It's showing her versus telling her. Leading by example. I'm a huge proponent of that.
All right. You know what? Touche.
Damn.
Yep.
Can't
I
make
mean,
fun
there's
of
no
that.
tear in my eye, but that's a
No, that's
solid
respectable.
story, dude. I like it.
That's
That's
respectable.
just because
Somebody
Steve farted.
Damn, so many people do so many different things all over the place. But I got to be honest with you, if you have a respectable moment, we wanna honor that. We wanna recognize that. You know. And speaking of that, I mean, you know, someone's going into labor contractions, which I know are painful, and even just making it across that stage, which is 30, 40, 50 feet, maybe even 100 feet. Man, that's like a marathon. That could be a long distance run. That could be like an ultra marathon or something like that. You know, especially if you're just kind of being squeezed, you know.
Speaking of ultra marathons,
I believe that today,
Go on.
that brings us to our topic.
What?
Our topic is one of my favorite and Project Reclamation's favorite people. He is, I think if you were to probably count like name drops that we do and little like whatever stories that we tell, I think he's probably in our top 5.
All right.
For sure.
yeah,
Right?
next to
You guys would agree.
Jocko Willink and
Jocko Willink, The Rock.
Elmo.
David Goggins is probably number 3.
DG.
And then I think Nick Vujicic and Noah Galloway kind of have like 4 and 5 spots.
is this Kenny Loggins' brother?
He is not Kenny Loggins' brother, but they may have he may have managed one of his chicken franchises.
Okay, good.
And by that I mean
Pollos
he
Hermanos.
didn't have anything to do with a chicken franchise owned by Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Rogers wrote
That was Kenny Rogers. Wow, I just
Kenny
mixed
Rogers.
up. I mixed up Kenny Loggins and Kenny Rogers. Kenny Loggins is the Danger Zone guy, right?
He's a Santa Barbara
Yes.
dude too.
Which one?
Kenny Loggins.
Highway to the danger zone.
Dude, I was visiting. I stopped by my buddy Jim's place the other day because he lives in he lives in this one city that's kind of sort of in between where my parents live and where we live, and I haven't seen him in a while. And he got these 2 puppies, and this is weird as fuck, by the way. They're Burmese Mountain Dog
Oh, I heard those.
and Saint Prince Charles.
Oh, all
what are
right.
those weird little spaniels that have like the squished faces?
Cocker Spaniel.
No, I think it's
Saint
Prince Charles.
Prince Charles Spaniel. Yeah.
Okay, so they're Burmese Mountain Dog, which
That's a
is a
big
dog that
dog.
is about as big as like a Saint Bernard. Like they're a 150-pound dog,
Yeah.
and a Prince Charles, which is like a 12-pound dog. How the like? No, literally, like
You sometimes have to
physically-
take the male.
Well, sometimes I think
smaller
you just have
one.
to like artificially inseminate.
No, but the smaller male usually goes with the bigger female. Like that's
Well,
how.
if there was a 150-pound dog raping a 12-pound dog, that would just be horrible.
That'd be brutal.
I don't know, because that's how they create Pomskis. It's like a Pomeranian Husky.
Well,
Is that
but a husky's
usually
only
it's a-
45,
so
50
weird.
pounds, and a Pomeranian is like 4 pounds.
I don't know, man. I mean, dog.
It doesn't
Dog
matter.
husbandry.
Anyways, what I'm
I don't
saying is
know,
they were
man.
2 puppies. They were the cutest little dogs, although Jax hated both of them. But their names were Maverick and Goose. I was like, oh, did you tell Goose he has to die? That sucks.
Classic.
That was my
let's
really,
talk
really
about-
long,
So interesting
long.
side note, and completely off topic, but the California can no longer sell puppy farm dogs.
Really?
Yeah, apparently that all pet shops can only sell rescue dogs now.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I figured you guys had been all over that because you've had rescue
I have,
dogs.
dude. I'll be honest. I haven't even heard of that.
Maybe I don't know what a puppy farm dog is, but I mean,
Maybe-
regardless-
maybe-
you might be
maybe
more
I'm
familiar
just-
with the term puppy mill than puppy farm. No?
Maybe I'm just like reading stupid things on Facebook and it's not
Well,
true.
Dude, I don't
but-
know.
Stupid.
It's all good. But you know what? Let's talk about our friend,
Yes.
David Goggins.
Kenny Loggins.
David Goggins. I'm going to go ahead and say he's probably the toughest man alive. He is extremely motivational to me, although he will tell you, and he says, I think he has actually a quote, like that motivation is crap. Now, I don't know that I think to me, motivation has a lot of levels, whatever, but he says motivation is crap. Purpose is what he thrives on and what he like hungers for. We could honestly do like 8 episodes about David Goggins. There's so much to talk about. I mean, I've been a huge David Goggins fan for years.
That's right.
But I recently started reading his book. He just came out with a book. I recommend you all read it. Actually, I'm not even reading it. I lied. I'm listening to the audiobook. And I will tell you why. First of all, because I listen better than I read. Actually, I never learned how to read. But so
neither.
he wrote the book with a guy, co-author who helped him write the book. And the co-author actually reads the text of the book in the audiobook. But then kind of in the middle sometimes, and definitely at the end of and beginning of every chapter, the two of them actually talk about it. So you kind of get some commentary on the book. So you get extra material. So it's kind of almost like a book, like an audiobook and like a podcast had a baby. And that's what you get with David Goggins' book on audiobook. So I'm not done with it, but I'm loving it, and I highly recommend it. It's an amazing book, and there's just so much more to this guy than you could ever imagine, and he has overcome so much, and he just has like the coolest like mentality that I don't know that I could reproduce, but I try to take something from it, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, I guess we'll just start kind of at the beginning real quick. JB, I kind of cut you off. You had something to say.
No, I didn't.
All right. So David Goggins was born in 1975. He grew up in Buffalo, New York, to Trueness Goggins, and I honestly don't remember what his mom's name was, but this isn't really...
I thought Trueness was the mom.
No, Trueness is the dad.
Oh.
And I don't know if I should say... His dad was a fucking asshole.
Oh, all right.
He had a lot of money. He was like a respected member of the community, but he just beat the shit out of his kids and his wife.
That's not good.
And he owned this like skating rink and like whatever, but then he also ran whores and probably drugs, who knows. At some point, David's mom ended up taking David and his brother and leaving. So they went to somewhere in Indiana where she had some relatives. And again, you should really read or listen to David's book, because that's where the details are. This isn't a biography podcast. We're not here to give you like the full biography on David Goggins' life. I'm just giving you like some background so that we can actually talk about why we love David Goggins, because that's what this is all about. But so then he lived with his mom and some relatives, and you know, his dad had a lot of money, but when they left, they had to give up that money. So it was kind of like, well, do you want some money and you want to keep being beaten and treated like shit, or you know, or not? Do you want the opposite? So David kind of grew up there. He had, and I don't know exactly when this happened, but he was always kind of not a skinny kid, but I mean, he's tall. He's like 6'2", but when he kind of got a little bit older, he gained a lot of weight. So he weighed about almost 300 pounds. And then he went and decided he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. No, I'm sorry. I think the first thing he wanted to be was a paratrooper. Is that a thing in the Air Force?
Maybe.
I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, pararescue.
Pararescue.
He initially applied to join the United States Air Force pararescue.
Exactly, pararescue. Okay, and he failed. Then he went to go join the Navy, and they said, hey, you're a fat kid. You need to lose 90 pounds in 90 days, because that's the deadline. And there's no way that's going to happen. So David Goggins went home. He tried to run around the block, and he didn't make it. So then he got sad, and he drank a milkshake. But then the next day, he tried it again. And then 90 days later, he had lost 90 pounds, and he joined the Navy. Then he ended up becoming a Navy SEAL. He is the only member. So this one's crazy to me, and I don't even know all the details. But he's the only member of the U.S. And first, let me backtrack real quick. He was literally the 36th African American or Black Navy SEAL in the history of our country. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. But
But he's the only member of the U.S. Armed Forces in the history of our country, period, to complete SEAL training, U.S. Army Ranger School.
That's right.
And Air Force Tactical Air Controller training.
That's right. I remember reading
Literally
that. Everything.
I don't know as much about the Air Force, you know, whatever. SEAL training, from what I understand, is one of the toughest things you could possibly do. I also know that Army Rangers, you have to be the biggest badass to be an Army Ranger. So he's like, fuck that. I'm going to knock out like the most badass thing you could do in 3 different branches of the military, which I didn't even know you could cross over branches. Like this was all new to me.
It's like what's his name playing 3 sports? Bo Jackson.
What was the third one?
I don't know.
It was
2
baseball and
sports.
football, maybe, but in this
And
commercial,
wrestling.
he's playing hockey, and he was doing race car driving, and he was
But he was just
Well, no skating, though.
just one of those super,
freakish athletes.
Well,
man.
he was just so athletic. It was ridiculous. Boom.
What is up?
So yeah. So I mean, we kind of obviously talked about some of his childhood and stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of fast forward
Yeah.
my story and rewind a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just
Taking
gonna,
it forward.
Dude, I don't
take
even
it to
know.
the future,
Forward and
take
back.
it to the past.
We're back to the future.
Back
That
to the
makes
future.
sense. I'm just. God, there's so much, and like I said, we could do like probably 6 episodes on David Goggins.
Probably could.
So I'm just gonna kind of run through like a brief timeline of kind of like what
Give him a
made
little sample.
who he was, and you notice most people, we probably talk about like things they've said. There's tons of things that he said, and we'll probably cover some of those.
But it's
I
probably
think
best to hear it from
part of
him.
what his life, part of why he's so motivational to me at least, is just the shit that he's done.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I'll cover that real quick, and then we'll talk about it. I mean,
right.
it won't be real quick, but I'll try. So So in David, we'll go to his early adult life.
All right.
He decided he wanted to be in the Air Force. He wanted to be, I don't remember exactly what it is, but basically kind of like special forces of the Air Force.
All right.
So he went through that training, and at part of it, they ended up, he was scared of the water, and he's negative buoyant, which means, he's real dense and he sinks. So he had a lot of like weird hang-ups about the water.
Sure.
So he was doing it, but then they kind of pulled him out because he had a trait. What is it? The sickle cell trait?
Yeah.
And apparently, doesn't he
a
have
problem
sickle cell anemia? Because he doesn't. But at the time, they thought that there was a link between the sickle cell trait and possibly sudden heart attack death from intense exercise.
Sure.
So they pulled him out. But then a little while later, they cleared him. So then he ended up basically using that as, he's like, look, I don't know about this doctor, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of used it as a cop-out to get himself out of that training. So then he
He doesn't even want to go through the training himself.
Well, at the time, he kind of quit.
He probably realized it was really tough.
He did, and
was like,
he
"Oh my God,
buckled. Now this
what
is,
did I do?" All
he's
right,
super
yeah,
young.
I've been there before.
So he buckled. So he finished out his Air Force 4 years. A lot of desk stuff, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was working as an exterminator, and he was up to almost 300 pounds. And there was he saw some commercial about the Navy SEALs, and that kind of was like, oh, that's something I kind of want to do. And then shortly thereafter, he had this call. He went to this restaurant that he refuses to name because he's like, nobody'd ever go there. And they had all these like rats and mice, and he ended up hitting the mother load of like cockroaches, and they just started pouring out of the ceiling, and he had cockroaches all over them.
saying.
Then he went outside, and there was an angry raccoon or a possum or some fucking varmint in the dumpster, and he kind of went home that night, and he was like, what the fuck?
What am I doing?
He's like, okay, I got
a come to God moment where you like
Exactly.
realize, what am I doing with my life, my job?
he hit up. So he was, so he decided, I'm going to do this Navy SEAL thing.
All right.
So he hit up all these different recruiters. Nobody wanted anything to do with him. He finally found one. At the time, he was living in Indiana, where he kind of grew up.
All right.
And this guy was like, well, you're 100 pounds too heavy.
Yeah.
But we can kind of do this and this. But he had to take this test called the ASVAB.
Okay.
I might be saying it wrong. So he took the test, and he started to lose weight, and he was like, oh, I'm going to go for a 4-mile run. And he made it like 400 yards. But then he did it again the next day. So he got that under control. He took the test, he passed the test, but one section of the test wasn't good enough for BUDS training for the Navy SEALs.
All right.
So he had to retake the test. So he passed the test. He lost 100 pounds in 90 days.
That's a lot of weight to drop.
So he went, so then he moved out to San Diego. He went to BUDS training. And BUDS training is 6 months long, but like the part that everyone knows about or hears about is Hell Week. So he made it through the first Hell Week.
Okay.
But he ended up getting pulled out of BUDS training because he got double pneumonia, and I don't really know what that is. Have you ever heard of that?
I mean, it's probably just pneumonia in both lungs.
So maybe that's it. I mean, I know pneumonia is like a really bad respiratory disease, infection, whatever.
That's correct.
What is the actual? Is it like water in the lungs? Is that?
No, I think there's just some infiltrate that piles up and is visible on a chest X-ray, and so it just kind of accumulates.
Got it.
Yeah.
So he got pulled out the first time because of pneumonia. So then, and that his first, I want to say, I don't remember. There was some interesting people in his first class. Then he got rolled back into the second class. His second go at BUDS training. They have boat crews. They're broken up into boat crews.
Yeah.
And those are the people you're kind of with the whole time. And one of the guys that was in his boat crew on his second time was Chris Kyle, American Sniper.
Oh, American Sniper.
Mm-hmm. And then this other guy, and they had a pretty solid kind of thing. And that was when he that second time around was when he invented what he calls stealing souls.
All right.
And it sounds kind of like badass and mystical, but really what he did is he would use kind of psychological warfare to take the power away from the instructors, because they were trying to keep everybody kind of down, and they want to make you quit.
Part of the being in the service, to my understanding, is that they have to condition your mentality,
right,
in a certain way, to just physically just kind of go at it, not memorization, but physical extolment, because even in the times of stress, they don't want you to worry about what to do. They just want you to trust in the instruction or in the orders. That's my understanding of it. I've never served this country. proudly or in any form or fashion. But it certainly sounds as though that might be the case. I don't know.
Well, I think there's a lot of it's a lot of obviously physical stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I think really the dividing point between who makes it and who doesn't is it's the mental stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And then that's also the mental conditioning. Because if you and I went in it, as tough as we are, I laugh at that. But as tough as we are, we probably wouldn't last 5 seconds. I was going to say minutes. I was giving us way too much credit. 5 seconds in a SEAL training or a BUDS training.
No.
As soon as they started yelling or even started talking loudly, I'd be like, what do you got? Oh, my God. What are you? I mean, I'd be in tears. And he went through it twice.
Yep.
So, I mean, mental fortitude right there, intestinal fortitude right there.
Yep.
You know? That's right. And this is just a momentary break to give a shout out to our future sponsor, or our continual sponsor, or the people we sponsor, the San Diego Fleet. Just giving you a shout out. Professional football back in San Diego.
Yeah. So basically he ended up getting rolled again because he had some shin breaks.
All right.
So he had to do BUDS 3 different times.
Ugh.
The third time he finished, he ended up having to use duct tape to splint his legs. And he had to learn how to run with his hip flexors, but he made it through at the top of his class.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. Then apparently the Navy SEALs do a lot of cross training. So he actually went to Ranger School as well. And apparently he finished with special honors at Ranger School.
So already you can tell that his mentality is already pretty strong. And you may be going, well, yeah, because he's military trained. The story gets better, y'all. The story gets better. Remember how he started off in his past? It kind of depends on you, what you want to do with your future. Now you're saying, oh, yeah, I'm not like that. You're right. David Goggins is a super creature. He has a super mentality, super strong mentality. And you're right, you may not have that. We're not asking you to be David Goggins. I don't even think David Goggins wants you to be him. David Goggins doesn't even want to have his mentality sometimes, I think, because he'll say very, very importantly, and you'll hear him say it, you got to do the stuff you hate. And honestly, that's such a huge mentality kind of breakthrough, because you literally, who wants to do the stuff they hate? I hate being cold. I don't want to be outside in the shivering cold. But maybe he would enjoy something like that. Sometimes it's like that kind of strength by challenging yourself doing the things that you don't like or necessarily want to do or love. But you might find yourself doing that stuff anyways. Maybe you go to a job that you don't like. Maybe you do tasks around the home, or your honey-do list is a little bit long and doing stuff that you don't want to do. But it's about championing yourself. It's about persevering and even going against the stuff that you don't like, so that you know there's a greater good, there's a greater picture up ahead. That's what we're kind of asking you to do, or at least think about or broaden your mind. Now, this is an extreme example, of course. And we're all about extreme examples here in Project Reclamation, but I will tell you this. You have everyday examples that you can think of, that happen every day while you're at work, while you're at home, while you're even at school, or while you're even just at the gym, doing your gym class or whatnot. And we're asking you to just kind of develop your mentality to perseverance, to be better than you were yesterday, or the time before that you were in the gym, or the day before you were at work, or be a better father, mother, husband, wife, the day before than the day before. That's what we're asking you to kind of open up to and think about.
And you said extreme examples. It's going to get a whole lot more extreme. But you did just remind me of something. One of the things that he was saying when I was kind of saying that whole stealing souls thing.
That's right.
Is he realized that, his whole team was run down. Okay. But what he started doing is he started kind of pumping them up. Hey, Steve, look at those guys over there. They think they can break us. They can't break us. Let's show them what we can really do. And in turn, he got them kind of pumped up. And then, positivity, just like negativity, is totally infectious. Mm-hmm. So there was a couple things there. He found that by when things suck, by helping other people out and lifting other people up, that really helped him lift himself up. And I thought that was so cool.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm. So he had known Marcus Luttrell pretty well. And he had actually done some training stuff with Morgan Luttrell. You may have heard of Marcus Luttrell. He was the lone survivor. Famous book, movie with Mark Wahlberg.
The only Luttrell I've ever known is Luttrell Sprewell.
Oh, yeah. No, this is Marcus Luttrell. So basically, Operation Red Wing had just kind of gone south. That's when what the story of the lone survivor is about. Okay. Yeah. So he decided that he wanted to do something to help bring awareness to, and also to raise money for the families of fallen soldiers.
Okay.
So his idea was, he had this great idea. And he talks about how you always come up with your craziest ideas when you're sitting at home, sipping a fucking hot chocolate or something. And you see this commercial for the Himalayas and you're like, yeah, climbing Mount Everest sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. Because it's always when you're in your soft comfort zone or whatever.
But so he decided he wanted to like Google the hardest run in the world.
That's right.
And apparently that's called what the fuck is it called?
It is not the
Badwater.
Oh.
No, it's not the Encinitas half marathon.
It's not the Encinitas Turkey Trot 5K that takes place every.
It's called the
every
Badwater
Thursday,
Ultra.
Badwater Ultra. It doesn't even sound.
I think it's and I think it doesn't say it here, but I think it's called the Ultra 135 or 130, which would tell me that it's about 130 miles.
Ugh.
Now this race is run in
the desert, right?
Dead of summer.
All right.
It starts in Death Valley.
Okay, that's not
where granted in the summer in Death Valley it's probably 130 degrees.
Yeah.
And it ends at the base of Mount Whitney. So
I don't even know how they got insurance for this.
Which is no. Apparently it was extremely hard. He had to the director had to clear different things with 5 different government agencies. And that's why it's so hard to even qualify for it, because the minute that somebody dies in his race, like his race goes away.
Yeah.
So he got one of his old training officer guys to give him a recommendation.
That's right.
He called this guy up and the guy just laughed at him. He goes, yeah, whatever. He goes, I've seen people better than you fail. He goes, but you can go run the San Diego one day. It's this weekend, so 3 days away. So now at this time, David Goggins had run, I think he said he'd run maybe one marathon, but it was like years ago. And he was in shape because he's a Navy SEAL, but he was more like kind of like powerlifting shape, not so much like running shape.
Yeah, 2 different types.
I think I want to say he probably weighed about 260 pounds at this time.
That's a lot of weight to carry around.
Yeah. And he was saying that his guy came in. That same training buddy came to the race and looked. And he said he just started laughing. He goes, "All I can think of is that song you hear when you're a kid, like one of these things is not like the other." And so he signs up for this. So this is kind of the turning point in David Goggins' life, from what I can tell. I mean, there's a lot of them, but this is kind of the biggest one to who he is today. So he signs up for this 100. It's basically a 1 mile track. So we're talking about flat, just a big circle, 1 mile track. It's in San Diego somewhere, and it's 24 hours. So basically, he had to run 100 miles in 24 hours to qualify for this Badwater race. So he runs the first 70. He probably starts off at too quick of a pace, and then he sits down in the lawn chair. And I've kind of told.
If you run 70 miles just in general, it doesn't matter what pace you go at.
I've told this story before, but that was when he sat down in the lawn chair. He couldn't get up. He ended up pissing himself, shitting himself. Finally, he got up, and when he talks about his wife was in triplets, so he's like. She was reaching out to me with 6 hands and like fucking Shiva the Destroyer or something. But so then he starts walking, and then he realizes that he's not going to make it. So then something clicks in his brain, and he ends up running 101 miles in about 19 hours, I believe.
That's good. Do something for 19 hours. I guarantee you it's not going to be 100
So he calls
miles.
up the director of this Badwater race, and then the guy's like, well, why'd you stop after 19 hours? But now after this race, like his wife had to like carry him home. He passed out on the kitchen floor. Then she put him into the bathtub, and he had been pissing blood and like shitting himself. And at this point, he said it wasn't blood anymore. It was just like thick brown stuff coming out of his penis. So she called his mom, who had a friend that was a doctor, and that doctor said, "It sounds like he's going into kidney failure. Yeah. You need to get him to the hospital."
Rhabdo. It sounds like it, but it sounds beyond it if it's thick. Like.
So.
Yuck.
He ended up going to the hospital, but the first thing that he thought was, no, the hospital's going to give me painkillers, and I want to enjoy this pain, because this is the single biggest accomplishment I've ever done in my whole life. And he still says it's the hardest thing he's ever done. So that was kind of what spurred David Goggins to become this ultra marathon runner, which he is today, and he's known as one of the best ultra runners. I think he's run over 60 races, over 60 ultra marathons. And do you know what an ultra marathon is? It's not always 100 miles.
No. I think it's
There's
just
50 milers, I think.
It's just like this huge distance that's greater than obviously a marathon at 26.2. I don't know what the base is. I don't know if it has to be greater than 35 miles or 50 miles or something like that. But I do know that it is extreme no matter what you can do, because I don't know how far it goes up, but I know Dean Karnazes is another ultra marathoner, and he could it's the ability to, I don't even know how these men do it. I
don't know either, man.
You just shut your mind off and you just kind of keep your legs moving. And it's almost like you can fall asleep, I think, like when you're like running. It's almost like you get in such a lull and you just fall asleep and rest. And then, you're like, oh, shoot. Oh, what am I on, mile 55 now? Oh, my God, I didn't even know it.
Right. So, a couple of his major racing accomplishments were the Kona Ironman World Championship, the Miwok 100K race, the Leadville 100, Badwater Ultra, Ultraman World Championship, Badwater Ultra again, and the San Diego 100 miler, which is San Diego one day. He also... he had to do this 3 times, but he did it. he got the world record for pull-ups in 24 hours. And I don't know what his record is, but apparently the number he had to beat was 4,020.
If someone did 4,000 pull-ups in 24 hours, that's
Yeah.
a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Because your muscles must get so tired after the first 100.
Then I think the first time that David kind of came onto the scene in like a kind of a celebrity type role is there was a book that was written called Living with a Navy SEAL or something. It may have even been like a documentary. I'm not really sure. I'm not too familiar with it. But essentially it was where this guy, I'm assuming he was an author or something, he had a Navy SEAL come live with him and basically train him and live with him and train him all the time. And so that guy was David Goggins. So I remember one of the first things he did was he took him into the basement where the guy must have had a chin-up bar. And he was like, do 100 chin-ups. And he's like, well, I can only do, or pull-ups, whatever. He's like, well, I can only do like 10. He's like, that's fine. Do 10. And then if you have to do them one at a time, you're going to stay here till you finish. And that was where that whole 40% rule came into play, which is, I think that's a Navy SEAL thing, where the theory is that when you feel like quitting, that you still have 40% left in the tank. You just are weak of mind.
No, I don't doubt that.
So then after that, David Goggins, I mean, probably in the last like year or two, he's been on a ton of podcasts and told his story. And
I think he's trying to promote a book.
Very motivational. Then he wrote this book.
That's right.
I'm reading the book right now.
Oh, see?
The audiobook is awesome.
All right.
It's probably better.
Because I think it's in his own voice, isn't he?
No.
Oh.
He had a guy help him write it.
Okay.
And that guy reads the book, but then they talk about it. So it's almost like it's like a book and a podcast.
Oh, okay.
It's very cool. So you get a lot of extra content in the audiobook that's not in the written book.
That's really, really good.
It's very cool.
I was going to say, because there's no replicating David Goggins' voice, man.
No, he has a very unique voice. He has very salty sailor language.
He's like
but
the DMX of book podcasts.
But he's as fucking real as it gets, though.
Oh, he's too real for me sometimes. I think I could maximum listen. He was on the Jim Rome show, like when I first heard about him. And I probably could listen to maybe about 30, 40 minutes of him, And like that was almost a full podcast, by the way.
Right.
But he's just intense. TNT intense, you know what I mean? Like, bye-bye mo,
Well, so I mean, that pretty much brings us to current with David Goggins. His last thing is he came out with this book.
All right.
Dude, I don't know. He had the story of his childhood is crazy.
Yeah.
Growing up with an abusive father.
That's right.
A lot of, and I love, he's a strong dude, he's
for sure.
But his story, as much as it is of strength, it's also of vulnerability and weakness, because it was by him identifying his weaknesses and overcoming them. That's what made him who he is today.
That's right.
His drive not to fail, or just that failure doesn't faze him, because
just to do even when you don't want to do. Like,
and
and
he talks about some days, dude, he stares at his running shoes for 30 minutes. Just like, I don't want to do this. And it's like, I don't do these things because I want to do them. I do them. I don't do them because I like them. I do them because I need to do something that sucks every day.
Yeah. That's a mentality that I feel like, please forgive me, it comes from maybe military training, because it's just like, whether you want to do it or not, you have a greater goal, greater picture in mind to protect the country, to serve our country. And clean some toilets. I don't want to do this, but I know it's for the cause, right? Or hang upside down off of this thing, off this one rope off of a helicopter in the middle of the ocean. Blah blah blah. Oh, I don't want to do it because it's scary, but I'm doing it for the greater good of the country and the world, So that's just, that's where I feel like that mentality comes from sometimes. But what do I know? I've never served, and you've never served. We're not that brave. We're not that smart. We're not that physically capable either. But I will tell you that's just an honor that that can be only developed or given to those that are strong enough to take on that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, his story is I don't even really. I mean, there's so many things we could talk about, and we could go over some of his motivational videos and some of his stuff. But I mean, I think his life in general is just so inspiring and motivational.
Right. That's awesome, man.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he inspires me and motivates me and makes me feel like a fucking pussy at the same time.
Yeah, but
It's
one
phenomenal.
of the things is, and I'm telling you the truth too, is that when I was a little kid, right, and this is like the hardest part, I was a big Michael Jordan fan. This is my only example that I can even kind of come close to. Big Michael Jordan fan. Who wasn't growing up in our generation? You didn't even play basketball. I think you were a Michael Jordan fan. You wanted the sneakers, you wanted the poster, you wanted everything.
Yeah,
right?
dude. Well, and I'm sure he
MJ,
did this in a bunch
iconic.
of different cities, but we lived in Santa Barbara. We had him come do air. Was it?
Oh, you had Jordan Camp. Yeah,
Jordan Camp,
at
Air
UC Santa
Camp, or
Barbara,
something like that. Yeah, every year.
Flight school.
Flight school. There you go.
But, let's be real. Like, here's what the problem. Here's the problem with me, though. I was like a big basketball fan, loved basketball, always playing in my front yard, or always playing at Kellogg School on the weekend, whatever. And then I remember even trying to buy the shoes. The shoes were too expensive. The shoes are still too expensive now. But back then, it was just like way too much, seeing as how my parents always got me like some Payless shoes. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that at all, y'all. But one of the biggest things in the world is that it's almost like I try to be like Michael Jordan, try to always be like Michael Jordan. And you know what? I didn't have that same mentality. No one else does, right? But you always like model yourself after the greatest, the best, the most influential, the most prevalent. And one of the only issues for me was that it almost started taking away the joy of basketball for me. I don't want you to, those of you who are listening, even those of us that are creating this podcast, I don't want us to ever look at David Goggins and be like, well, I'm not him. I don't have that mentality. I don't have that mental makeup or that setup. Boy, oh boy, am I a failure. Or boy, oh boy, do I come short. I think, to my understanding, there might be a lot of Navy SEALs. There might be a lot of people in our military that may have the same mindset, but maybe only one of them, and maybe even stronger than David Goggins. Let's be real.
Maybe,
Let's be real with each other. But maybe they're not as prevalent or as open about that, or as broadcast like with it as Goggins is. But yeah, I mean, those are just extreme examples. Okay, those are very, very much extreme examples. It all starts from a single step, and probably he can attest to this. You can't finish an ultramarathon without taking the first step.
No,
right? You're never gonna finish, right? You don't win the first race. You don't win the race in the first mile.
No, and I mean, I think that you have to do something. It starts somewhere.
Yeah.
And he even says that he's thankful that he had such a fucked up childhood and had all these challenges put forth because he didn't have to go looking for things to raise him up to the next level.
True that.
They were just presented to him. And I think it's hilarious, not really hilarious, but like he calls himself lucky for having all these hardships. Yeah. And it's just interesting.
Because it gave him a different perspective.
Yeah,
maybe.
for
I don't
sure.
know.
For sure.
And you think if you are listening to this podcast and you've had a tough beginning, now all three of us kind of grew up in a very, very inspirational city that certainly showed a lot of support. But some of you guys might be listening, you guys grew up in however you did. Maybe it's even worse, right? And the fact is that you graduated from school or even went to school or even have a job or have a part-time job or have just a plan or have a goal in life to just to succeed and be better than when you first started. That in and of itself can be the success, the continual marches towards success. And even though it's not Goggins-esque where I have to, where it's this huge thing where I've tried out for buds, I did buds 3 times. You don't need to do all that to honestly be a successful person and everyday success. And that's what I'm trying to.
And we're not sponsored by David Goggins nor his book. And I'm not going to encourage you to go buy the book or whatever because I get anything from it. But the cool thing is it's such an inspiring story.
Yeah.
But he has a challenge at the end of every chapter.
I love it.
And it's a challenge that's something that he did. But it's not the same way. It's not like go do this, go run this, or go do this until you're pissing blood. No. It's he extrapolates into something more.
I wouldn't suggest that as a healthcare provider
his
at all.
His whole thing is that he's like, I did this stuff, and he thinks that physical activity or physical punishment, for lack of a better word, is a really good way to kind of build your mental toughness, because when you're running, hiking, lifting, doing something, it kind of quiets the rest of your brain.
Yeah.
And it forces you to focus on one task and get something done. But what he talks about is being mentally calloused. And he says, now that it's not necessarily a good thing, because if you mentally callous yourself, it either turns you into angry and resentment, and you basically shy away from stuff, and you don't want to experience other things.
That's right.
Or it turns you into what he is just kind of tough and willing to use it to actually push him further and elevate him more to do things that he may not think were possible.
That's right. Golly, I don't even know where to kind of go and take this, but to be honest with you, I feel like mentally callousing yourself is almost, you have to sometimes, what I hate most often, what I hate more than anything is when I feel like people are just too soft, meaning that I'm a pretty soft guy too. I'm no toughie. I'm no, made of stone guy myself. But sometimes I feel like, life is kind of tough, unfortunately, right? You don't always get your way. You don't always get what you want, when you want, how you want it, okay? And sometimes as a healthcare provider, sometimes I see this too. Like, isn't there something that you can give me to just make everything go away right now? All the pain go away right now? Yeah, I'd love to give you that medication. Oh my God, would I love to give you that medication. But yeah, unfortunately, no magic bullets exist. No silver bullet exists where I can just magically take away everything and then kind of just bippity boppity boop give you back to health. So one of the things is that you do learn something through perseverance. You learn what you're made of. You learn what how much fortitude you have. You learn how much you can really take as a human being, and how much you're willing to extol and dish out, and also how much you're willing to succeed and overcome. And one of the bigger, better, badder parts about this is that when a bigger challenge comes up in life, because you know it will, it will. And maybe that challenge is on you right now. Maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're like, holy smokes, I can't believe this is happening to my friend, and this is happening to my family, and this is happening at work, and this is happening with my taxes, and this is happening with whatever it may be. And it all happens in this perfect storm. All happens on this one week or on this one day or on this one moment. You can look back on the times in which you persevered through tougher times, maybe, or even less tougher times. And you use this as a ramp up to what you're facing right now. And you can kind of go against it, or you can kind of like at least say, hey, Father Time, or hey, Taxman, or hey, whatever it is, kind of some mental or emotional situation strain on you. I'm ready. Let's go through this. We're going to tussle. You may win. You may break me. I may cry. I may be hurt. But you're not going to get a freebie. You're not going to get a free shot.
Well, and you never know what some of your most prized memories or accomplishments are going to be. I mean, if you would probably told David Goggins, like, hey, you're going to run until you piss blood and then piss something worse, and your kidneys are going to fail, you might die. And that's going to be one of your greatest accomplishments ever. So much so that you don't want to go to the ER right away because you don't want to get pain meds because you want to enjoy that pain. Now, David Goggins is a self-proclaimed masochist, and I think that by any definition of the word, he does probably fit that profile. But at the same time, the things that seem the hardest could end up being the things you're most proud of doing.
That's right. God.
Yeah.
God, honestly, I will tell you that, like I said, and I've said this before, running a marathon is not easy. It does take a lot of training, and the moments that I've crossed the finish line after doing that, and you do it all before noon or something like that, or 1 or 2 or 3 in the afternoon, or whatever time you finish. Doesn't matter what time you finish, as long as you finish. It really feels like you can do anything in the world, because that is a huge milestone accomplishment, whatever you want to take it. And to run that in a single sitting, I can't imagine running 70. I can't imagine doing an ultramarathon.
No.
But to do any long distance, any marked mile long distance,
I can't even imagine doing 26.
Yeah, doubling that. You're like, oh my God, I'm winded, I'm dusted after 13. But imagine just pushing yourself to the extreme limits where you can't even walk anymore and you look like Peg's, stilt man.
Right.
But to do that, but once you cross that line, you say, I have done this. Boom, shakalaka, this is it. I put my stake in this ground. I plant my flag in this here earth, and this is what it is. It's a pretty fulfilling. It's a pretty fulfilling feeling.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, we're not asking to piss blood. We're asking to...
No, but I think going and doing something that you think is something that you probably can't do.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect.
It's so funny, right?
There's power in that.
Oh, there's nothing in the world that you can't do. Well, that is so true. There's nothing in this world that you can't do. Now, there's some things that you're always going to be limited towards, like being the president of the United States, or being Miss Universe as a man is pretty tough. Obviously, I don't know if it's possible.
Walking on the moon without a spaceship or a suit.
But we're that's obviously not even that's not even probable. That's not even an ability. But if you think of a challenge that is within your scope, well, I don't know. I mean, you're right. Is it hard? Is it easy to play for the NFL? No, it's not easy at all. It's not supposed to be. But you're also thinking of the top positions here, okay? But is it easy to play football on the weekends, or is it easy to try out for a team, or is it easy to sync up with a football league and be the best that you can do in whatever stage you're doing it? Yeah, and be better than you were every single day. That's the biggest challenge, and that's what I take away from Goggins. I don't take away the fact, I need to do all this crazy stuff to the extremes and push my physical body till it's breaking down. But if I can or if I have to, I know that it is possible.
He's always getting better. I mean, now he's not. He's writing the book, but he wrote the book, but he's not in the Navy or anything anymore. So now he's signed up to be a woodland firefighter. So he's out in the freaking forest, digging ditches and fire lines and stuff, making pennies with all these guys, just because that was just something that he needed to do to challenge himself.
He seems like such a guy that is not inspired by finances, and if you are inspired by finances, that's awesome. Do that.
No,
but he seems like a guy that's just inspired.
No, he got an offer to sell his book for $300,000, and he turned it down because he wanted the book to come out the way that he wanted it to come out.
I love that, because it's someone's soul vision is the most important thing,
right?
And I love it because you hear about artists that way, and you hear about people that way, and you just hear other people that way. And it's kind of impressive to see that somebody is just so married to their vision.
Absolutely.
I love that. Dude.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's David Goggins.
I love it.
We could go on for hours more about him, but that's it. If it's something that interests you, I encourage you to go, look him up on YouTube. He's done a lot of interviews. He's on a lot of podcasts. He's been on Rogan's podcast a few times. He's been on Rome's podcast. I think he's extremely inspirational. We talk about him a lot on this podcast. And shit, we'd love to have you on, Dave. Do you want to come to this podcast?
DG.
Who the hell are you guys? Oh.
I know.
Just DG it up, man.
He's like, I've been on Rome, I'm Rogan, and also a PR.
Yeah. He's like, you guys suck.
That's
But so that's pretty much it. To close this out, I think I have a hero for us. So I'll go into that.
Let's do it.
So the hero of the day, or the hero of the show that I have today, this is titled "The Hero of the Montecito Mudslides." For those of you who don't know, Montecito is located in Santa Barbara, California. So shout out to the hometown of your three hosts. And here it is. In January 2018, Southern California was struck by a series of deadly mudslides. The storm-related disaster claimed the lives of nearly 24 people and hospitalized 163 others. A mud flow in Montecito was so powerful that it dislodged a number of houses from their foundations. Reaching speeds of up to 32 kilometers per hour, or 20 miles per hour, the debris-filled wave laid waste to vehicles, trees, power lines, and buildings. Since heavy rain had been forecast, rescue teams were already mobilized along the coastal town when the storm hit. Fortunately, firefighter Maeve Juarez was on hand to coordinate the rescue efforts. Maeve was inspecting the San Ysidro Creek Bridge in the early hours of the morning. Moments after leaving, an enormous gas explosion completely destroyed the bridge and set fire to neighboring houses. She rushed back to the scene, just in time to see one couple jumping from the second floor of a burning home. The woman had broken her feet during the escape. Maeve clothed the half-naked woman and carried her over 400 meters to safety. Maeve continued working through the night with her colleagues and is credited with saving over 100 lives. She was presented with the first Medal of Valor award in the history of the Montecito Fire Department, along with her colleague, Andy Rupp. So I think this is super cool because it's not only a real-life hero, but a real-life hero that is attached to an event that happened near our hometown. So yeah, very awesome. Real-life heroes do exist.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
Steve?
Truly inspirational, man.
You have a quote of the day for us?
I do. Where is it? Where did I leave my quotes of the day? Hold on.
I don't know. You have that big, giant quote of the day book?
That's right.
You carry it around
Looking
with you
in
everywhere?
my quote of the day, man. Editing purposes homely.
All right.
All right, so check this out. I mean, this is a quote that's like probably it got me going one time when I was kind of struggling with like a physical routine. And then also I will tell you that it does remind me of what my aunt kind of told me a little bit earlier. So this is why it hits home. But
Okay.
David Goggins says this: somewhere in your life, there's going to be a point where you have a decision to make. You're going to have to choose between taking the easy route or the hard route. A lot of people take that easy route and they have a good life that way. But the better life was by taking the hard route. You may have 20 years of pain and suffering to try and get past it, but a lot of us die before truly starting our journey. Now, it's like so funny because I remembered almost, I know, right? I remembered almost like having a choice, like when I was a little bit younger, back in my heyday, I was kind of struggling. I was doing some odd end job, and my aunt was kind of like staying with us. And then she basically said, I was like, yeah, she's like, hey, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't really know. I'm just kind of like, whatever. I was working at like Stampa Barber or something like that. I was like working some shitty job. And then she's like, all right, well, whatever you do, I'm always think about this, you work hard now later, or you work hard so you can rest later. All right. But if you rest now, you're going to have to work harder later. And she was talking about like almost like 60, when I'm 65,
Yeah.
Like, and it's true. Like sometimes, and I swear to gosh, and I really, really hate saying this, but my in-laws were in town, or not my in-laws, my brother-in-law was in town.
Yeah.
I don't have any in-laws myself just yet.
Well, I guess your brother-in-law's an in-law.
I guess, yeah. But he was so funny because he was like, oh, we were trying to get this car out, and it's like, oh, and he remembered like greeting the security guard. They'd never been to San Diego, and they remember greeting this old curmudgeon security guard at the airport who was just kind of releasing these cars at a time. And then they were saying, oh, he was so rude, he was so nasty. And I was like, oh, Joe, don't take it personally, that's like, meaning like, it's not, I don't know what, it was like 3 a.m. at night. It was just like bad flight upon bad flight upon bad flight.
Yeah.
And he was clearly in his 70s, is what I remembered seeing him as. And I says, oh man, I wonder if he was in that kind of case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not, trust me, he's working, he's putting his time in, you know what I mean? Maybe he could have been retired and it been a better situation for him. But yeah, it's either you work hard now, and so you can kind of relax later and have that good life. or it might take you that 20 years of toil, like he was saying. It might be the kind of tough decision now, or you kind of just take it easy until you have to like start really grinding. So that's where I'm coming with that one. That's why it always hits home. Thank you, Auntie Soli. Awesome stuff. Hits home for me.
I like it. So that's all I got.
Boom. That's all I have.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. I recommend going and looking more into David Goggins if this episode interested you at all. And I don't
think you're going to be disappointed.
I don't think so either. And with that, I will just say thank y'all. Have a good one. Be good. Until we talk again.
Booyah.
Bye.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
I saw myself as the weakest person God ever created. I got called nigger every day of my life growing up, lived in a small town. One of the high ups in the KKK, son, sat behind me in 2 classes, so he called me nigger all the time. I got my first car, they spray painted nigger, we're gonna kill you on it. And I was weighing like 297 pounds. So I was just an insecure, scared kid. But the best thing that happened to me, no one helped me. I wasn't gonna be a punk kid all my life. So the only way I could turn it around was to suffer. I had to build calluses in my brain the same way I built calluses on my hands. So I broke the Guinness Book of World Records for pull-ups a long time ago, but I failed at it twice. And I did 67,000 pull-ups in trying to break this record. So to do 4,030 pull-ups, I had to do 67,000 for training for that.
Wow.
And so what I realized is for me to become the man I wanted to become, I saw myself as the weakest person God ever created. But I never blamed God for anything he did to me. So I wanted to change that to be the hardest man ever created. Am I that? I don't know, but you had to have a goal. Right. And my goal when I was sitting there, not going to school, being bullied, having no self-esteem, my goal was the only person that's gonna turn this person around is me. I was so driven, and I'm not gonna say motivated because motivation's crap. Motivation comes and goes. When you're driven, whatever's in front of you will get destroyed. We live in an external world. Everything is you gotta see it, touch it, it's external. If you can for the rest of your life live inside of yourself, stop listening to people who are calling you fat, gay, transsexual, nigger. Everything that is makes no sense. All these insecure people putting their insecurities on you, you gotta flush it out. You gotta just be whoever the hell God or whoever the hell you believe in. If you believe in nothing but yourself, I don't care what it is. You gotta take everything and throw it away. You have to believe in one thing, and that is yourself. And I'm not saying don't believe in God or what you believe in, but right now, for you to find greatness in yourself, you're not gonna find it by looking in a book or by even hearing me. I may give you the spark, but you've got to go inside yourself to find it. How? That's the question. How are you gonna do that? Thicken your skin. Become more of a human being. Don't be afraid of the reflection in the mirror, because that's all you can be afraid of. Once you overcome the reflection in the mirror, on the other side is greatness. That's what people don't understand. By me running, I am callous in my mind. I'm not training for a race. I'm training for life. I'm training for the time when I get that 2 o'clock in the morning call that my mom is dead or something happens tragic in life. I don't fall apart. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is gonna throw at me. Because the life I've lived, it throws a whole bunch at you. And if you're not physically and mentally prepared for that, you're just gonna crumble and you're good for nobody. In times of suffering, what we do is we forget how hard we really are. Because that's what suffering is. Suffering is a test. That's all it is. Suffering is the true test of life. The beauty is remembering this young, dumb, what people call nigger, is now where I'm at today. And that is, when you finally get to that point for me, it's for everlasting peace. Greatness isn't running 200 miles at a time or doing 4,000 pull-ups or being a SEAL. Greatness is whatever the hell you dreamed of in your own mind. You gotta first see it. You gotta first create this vision in your mind. And then that's when I come into play. Once you create this vision in your mind, it's how am I gonna get there now? We are all great. No matter if you think you're dumb, no matter if you think you're fat, no matter if you are fat, no matter if you've been bullied, or no matter if you just got back from Iraq or Afghanistan and you have no legs or your arms or whatever, man, we all have greatness. You gotta find the courage. You gotta find the courage to put your Bose headphones on and silence the noise out of this world and to find it that sets you apart from everybody else. And that's what it's all about.